Mothra, the queen of the monsters, the yin to Godzilla's yang, is set to make a grand appearance in Godzilla King of the Monsters. This is the history of Mothra. Let's get to it. Like Rodan, Mothra was given her very own film simply titled Mothra back in 1961. But the giant moth kaiju was actually first created and introduced to the world within the novel The Luminous Fairies and Mothra. After this humble introduction, Mothra went on to become a reoccurring guest monster in the Godzilla franchise, showing up in every era: Showa, Heisei, her own trilogy after the end of the Heisei era, Millennium, and of course in the new Monsterverse. This has led Mothra to being second to only Godzilla in total appearances, and for good reason. Mothra is one of the most famous movie monsters ever created. If she had more fangs, claws, and looked more threatening, she would probably be even more famous, us humans loving violence and all. But violence is not what Mothra is about. Actually, it's the complete opposite. The Queen of the Monsters has long been considered an angelic, godlike creature, time after time choosing to help protect her home island, Japan, and even all of Earth. She's quite heroic. The common thought is that Mothra and Godzilla are always allies, but in reality they have fought against each other more than with each other, only being friends when the goal was to save Earth from a greater threat. Otherwise, they don't really get along. Godzilla will sometimes appear to be helping humanity, but he really only cares for a balance on Earth, more of a protector of Earth itself than anything, while Mothra has been called the protector of humanity, being the only monster to ever show any sort of real concern for us little humans. To further this connection with humanity, the creators of Mothra introduced the Mothra Fairies, two human female-like beings that were the bridge between Mothra and humanity. Mothra has impressive psychic powers, which she would use to speak through these characters. It's kind of a weird idea, but hey, that's Japan for you. I can dig it. So she normally comes in 3 different forms. When a Mothra is about to die, it normally leaves behind a lone egg, but it isn't necessarily the child to the previous Mothra, it's more of a phoenix-like situation. As Mothra dies, she rises back from the death as this new version of herself, making Mothra immortal in a way. Once the egg hatches, Mothra has to go through her larva stage. While not very mobile or threatening, the larva is capable of spitting out a silk-like material that can wrap and constrict her enemies. And you wouldn't want to get bit by the thing either. After some time in her larva stage, Mothra would cast a cocoon around herself, eventually busting free as the beautiful moth-like creature that we all love. But don't just think of Mothra as a pretty little wimp. She can pack one hell of a punch if you provoke her, being able to emit an energy beam strong enough to hurt Godzilla, and was able to release a pollen-like substance from her wings that would stop almost any threat right in its tracks. A later version of Mothra was even able to shoot poison darts from her abdomen. Yeesh! Legendary's Monsterverse Mothra is said to be capable of emitting a beta wave bioluminescence attack through her wings that causes destruction and blindness, appropriately named the God Rays. Going back to the original Mothra, the creature was brought to life with the use of wire-operated mechanical puppets, and the larva stage was created using suitmation, where, get this, 6 actors would get inside the suit and crawl as a single unit. I wasn't able to find any pictures or footage of this, but hey, if that's true, that's kinda crazy. Talk about a fun day on the set, right? 3 years later, in Mothra vs. Godzilla, Toho changed up a few things when it came to the behind-the-scenes creation of the giant moth. They added radio-controlled legs, a precursor of sorts to animatronics, and the larva stage human centipede suitmation thing was scrapped for motor-driven and hand puppets. The Heisei era brought CGI to the forefront of their Godzilla films, and Mothra was one of the first experiments Toho had with the new technology. Originally, her wings were supposed to be fully CGI, but that idea was cut because it just didn't seem real and sensitive enough. See, Toho was able to come to terms with it. Looking at you, Jurassic World people. Godzilla vs. Mothra performed well at the Japanese box office, but Mothra herself was under criticism for the low-quality design for the new version of the character. Some went as far as to say that the original 1961 Mothra looked more real than this one 30 years later. Plus, they threw in a change to her origins in which Mothra was an alien and not one of Earth's protectors, so fans weren't very thrilled with that idea at all. Nonetheless, Mothra's popularity rose even higher. Quick fact! Mothra's chirps and other sounds were actually sped up versions of Anguirus' roar. Mothra is a true icon. I mean, even non-Godzilla fans know about her for a large part. And when King of the Monsters releases, her fame will rise even higher. I'm expecting Mothra tattoos, ladies. And same for the guys, man, tattoo it up. This has been Jacob, and if you liked today's video, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, we have a Patreon set up, so if you want to help the channel out, feel free and donate. You don't have to, but me and Al would certainly appreciate it. This has been the history of Mothra, and peace out.